In the forbidden netherworld of the jungles of Asia, there was a golden crown, a small golden bonfire that burned brightly day and night, hunted by the ancient jungle tribes for ages without success, and lit up the world of the fiery serpents without so much as searing the least green grasses it happened to come in contact with, nor scorching the most delicate wing of the smallest chirping cricket that happened to come close to it, until one day. The great king cobra of the jungles, whom the fire belonged to, had just put it down from his head and draped it on some tender grasses, just like a king briefly drapes his crown on his throne seat for a little air, and had gone hunting miles away, leaving the fire behind with only 3 young cobras around it. 2 daredevil treasure hunters who had been stalking him for weeks quickly drew nearer, and those 3 young cobras also came out and braced for a fight. The 2 men drew out their long swords and launched an attack, and the 3 cobras fought with them. They fought tirelessly for all they were worth, fighting to defend themselves from the glistening swords flying from all directions around them, fighting to defend the fire of their king cobra, and fighting to expel the invaders from the territory. And they jumped and squirmed and ejected venoms around vicious swings of dangerous swords, hoping that their king would soon turn up to put the fight to an abrupt end in their favor. But unfortunately, he never did, and they were losing out. Lamentably, they all stretched out lifelessly one after the other before the invaders, who quickly returned their bloody swords into their sheaths, drew out a big sack, and with a spade in their hands, they approached the fiery crown and scooped it up into the sack. And that same instant, the king cobra smelled danger around where his fire was and began making back for home at full tilt. But the men quickly fastened the mouth of the sack and took to their heels, and alas, the fire that gave him light was no more. He slithered blindly down the jungle in a speed no land animal, not even the cheetah, had ever gone, growling very fiercely like a pack of 40 tigers disturbed by a large enemy, pulling down every tree that tried to hinder him, determined to get his fire back, to stop those villains right in their tracks, to even swallow up the entire jungle. The fire was everything to him. It lit his path in the day, guided him through in the night, and all year round kept him warm and super active, even in the cold of some winters when others could be hibernating or doing something close. Everything that controlled every mechanism, everything that pumped or ejected fluids, everything that stretched, that expanded and constricted to accommodate large preys in him all depended upon it, and any palms it happened to land upon would gain massively while he, on the other hand, would suffer the biggest loss of all, which was death. He, who had always been an age-long adversary to that despicable world of men. If he progressed, the world failed, and if he failed, the world progressed. How could he watch them gain such a big advantage? That was the fire that could better the world and open up new frontiers of knowledge and hidden mysteries about the deep ocean, the space, the missing links, and the 4th dimension, and also the same fire that would, if it did not belong to him any longer, kill him and his children in a twinkling of an eye. Thus, he fought his way down the entire stretch of the jungle, and just like a jealous shop owner watching his best customer going to patronize the shop next door, he watched helplessly his one great treasure drifting away, to the advantage of that vile shop next door, and to his own unfortunate disadvantage. The great king cobra that emerged from his nest with a golden crown of fire upon his head, that ventured beyond the cobra range, how had everything gone from him in one fell swoop?